Welcome back. This is the most important screen in our app, the POS terminal. On the left, the cashier sees all available products in a grid. On the right is the cart, the list of items being purchased. The cashier clicks products to add them, reviews the total, then clicks checkout. In this episode, we build the layout and the product grid. In the next episode, we wire up the cart logic. Let's start on the back end with a controller to feed our POS screen. Quick artisan command to generate it. PHP artisan make controller POS controller. That drops an empty controller into our HTTP controllers folder. Let's open it up and add the index method. This index method is what loads our POS page. The first thing to spot is with category. That's eager loading. Since we'll display each product's category, we pull in the same query, which avoids the classic N+1 problem where you'd otherwise hit the database once for every single product. Now look at the two where clauses, because this is the key idea. We filter the products here on the server. Only active products, and only ones with stock greater than 0. There's no point showing a product the cashier can't actually sell. And this filter runs in SQL, which is much faster than loading every product and filtering in JavaScript. Then we order by name, so the grid is predictable, and hand the whole list to our POS/index React page through Inertia. The POS screen layout is different from our management pages. We do not want a sidebar getting in the way. We want maximum space for the product grid, so we will use a full-screen, two-panel layout. In Inertia with this starter kit, a page component can override its layout. We will use the app header layout instead of the sidebar layout, giving us more horizontal space. Let's create the POS page first. Make sure to follow what I'm doing here. Create the POS directory first, and inside it, add a file called index.tsx, since that is what is needed for backend. Our props are just the array of products from the controller. Inside the component, we set up two pieces of state. Search holds whatever the cashier has typed in the search box, and cart holds our cart items. For now, it's an empty array of cart item. Let's add the shared cart item type, so our pages aren't each defining their own copy. Remember, our main POS page already imported cart item from types, so we need it to actually exist there. We export a cart item interface, a product, and a quantity. By putting it in our shared types file, both the POS page and the cart panel can import the exact same type, instead of each redefining it locally. Single source of truth. In the next episode, the cart panel will swap its local definition for this shared one. Now you can import the cart item interface on the index file. Now, I'm adding a small add item function here, even though the real cart work is next episode. The reason is simple. Our grid needs something to call when a product is clicked, and we want the app to actually run at this commit, not throw an error. So here's the minimal version. If the product is already in the cart, we bump its quantity by 1. Otherwise, we add it as a new item with quantity 1. Notice we use the function form of setCart. We read the current cart and return a new array, never mutating the old one. That's the React way. We'll expand all of this in episode 7. Here's our search filter, and it runs entirely in the browser. We take the full product list and keep only the ones whose name, or whose category name, contains what's been typed. We lowercase both sides, so the search is case insensitive. We do not make a network request for every keystroke. The product list is small enough to filter in memory, and that makes the search feel instant. This will add the tab title on the browser. Now let's add this POS page to the sidebar so that you can see what I'm actually adding on the POS page. We follow the same pattern we did on the previous episodes. Just add the point of sale title, the ref points, to POS route, which I will add it soon on web.php file, and use the shopping cart icon. Here, uncomment the POS route since we commented this on the first episode. Also import the POS controller, so it won't give you runtime errors. Now everything works fine. Continue with creating the POS screen layout. Now the markup. The outer div uses hscreen and flexcall. That's what gives us the full height terminal look, with the top bar stacked above the main area. Make sure to import the link component and layout grid icon. Now the page should show the grid icon like this. Next, add the point of sale header title using the span tag. Lastly, we need the search input so user can search the products. The top bar has three elements: a backlink to the dashboard using the layout grid icon from Lukeide, a point of sale title, and the search input. The backlink lets the cashier return to the dashboard at any time without using the browser's back button. One detail on the search box: the magnifying glass icon is positioned absolutely inside the input wrapper, and we push the text over with PL9 padding so it doesn't overlap. And the input is fully controlled. Its value is our search state, and every change calls set search, which reruns that filter we just wrote. And below the top bar, the main area. It's a flex row that takes up all the remaining height with flex 1. On the left, we drop in our product grid, and crucially, we pass to the filtered list, not the raw products, so the search actually affects what's shown. We also hand it add item as the on-add callback. On the right is the cart panel. For now, we just pass it the cart and set cart. An overflow hidden on the wrapper means each panel scrolls independently instead of the whole page scrolling. Now, neither of these components exists yet, so the app will error until we create them. Let's do the grid next. Now, before that, there's one more thing we have to do, or this page will get wrapped in the sidebar like all our others. Notice there is no layout property on this component. With the starter kit sidebar layout, every page normally gets wrapped in the sidebar shell. For the POS screen, we want a full screen terminal look, no sidebar. The way to opt out of the layout is to modify the layout resolver in resources/js/apptsx. Find a resolve function inside Create Inertia app, and add cases for the POS pages. When Inertia resolves the POS/index page, resolve returns null instead of a layout component, so the page renders directly without any wrapper. We add POS/receipt here too, since the receipt page will also need the full screen. Now the product grid, the heart of the POS screen. This is what the cashier spends all day tapping. Let's create the file. Resources/js/pages/pos/product-grid.tsx. We import a product type and define the props this component needs, the list of products to display, and an onAdd callback. Notice the type of onAdd. It's a function that takes a product and returns nothing. This is the parent telling the grid, when a product is clicked, call me with it. The grid itself doesn't know or care what happens to the card. It just reports the click upward. That's clean component design. First thing inside the component, we handle the empty case. If there are no products, say the cashier searched for something that doesn't exist, we show a centered, no products found message instead of a blank grid. Handling this early with a return keeps the rest of our code clean, since below this line we know we definitely have products to show. On index.tsx file now, you can import the product grid component. Now let's make the actual grid system here using Tailwind and React at the same time. Now the grid itself. The outer div scrolls vertically with overflow auto, so a long product list scrolls inside this panel only. Then the responsive grid, 2 columns on mobile, scaling up to 5 on large screens, using Tailwind's breakpoint prefixes. The cashier still will usually be on a wider screen, so they get those nice 5 columns. Then we map over the products, and here's an important choice. Each product card is a plain HTML button element. Using a button instead of a div gives us keyboard navigation and accessibility for free. Pressing Enter or space on a focus card will trigger the click. Never use a div for something clickable. And it's on-click calls onAdd with this product. That's the callback firing back up to the parent. Inside the card, we check if the product has an image. If it does, we show it, squared off with aspect square and object cover, so it never looks stretched. And when there is no image, we show the first letter of the product name as a large placeholder. This looks clean and avoids those broken image icons that make an app feel unfinished. And below the image, the product details, name, price, and stock. Notice truncate on the name. If a product has a really long name, it gets cut off with an ellipsis instead of breaking our grid layout. The price is in our primary color to make it pop, and the stock sits below in muted text, so the cashier can see at a glance how many are left. One quick word on the Tailwind classes back on the button. Group enables the group hover utility. Hover. Border primary changes the border color on hover. And focus. Ring. To focus. Ring primary shows a visible keyboard focus ring for accessibility, so someone tabbing through with a keyboard always knows which card they're on. The cart panel will be fully built in the next episode. For now, let's create a stub so the layout renders without errors. We define the props it'll eventually need, the card array, and an onUpdate callback for changing it. For now, though, we only actually use card, so that's all we destructure. No sense pulling an onUpdate before we use it. This stub renders the right panel with a fixed width of 80 units, 320 pixels in Tailwind's default scale. The border L gives us the dividing line between the grid and the cart. And inside, a simple conditional. If the cart is empty, we prompt the cashier to click a product. Otherwise, we just show the item count. We will replace this with full cart logic in the next episode. The POS screen layout is done. We have a full-screen 2-panel view, a working search box that filters products instantly, and a product grid that looks good and responds to clicks. In the next episode, we build the cart logic, adding items, changing quantities, removing items, and computing the total. That is where React state management really shines. See you there.